5 goals and a drop goal. They have beaten Leeds and the Bulls at home this year, but it has been a season of underachievement for Darrell van der Velde and company. The Warrington Wolves, with their supporters behind them, on this their best run of the year. Alan Langer, 34 years of age, and he has confirmed that he will be back here in Super League next year, when Warrington will have the likes of Kevin Campion from the Brisbane Broncos lining up in their starting side. And having seen Kevin Campion this morning in the match against the Parramatta Eels, Kevin Campion will be a welcome addition to the Warrington lineup for next year. But the champions St Helens know there is no margin for error now. They will have to win all 5 of their remaining games to enter the playoffs as league leaders. And it's a tall order. They have to visit Leeds, and then they entertain Wigan in the final match of the weekly rounds. Those 2 matches, I think, will probably decide whether Saints finish top of the tree or not. Well, they won at Wilderspool 47-34 in May. They won here 50 points to 20 in June. This the 3rd meeting of the 2 sides in Super League this year. And the entertainers, 140 tries scored, 85 conceded. Sean Long, 19 tries. And Chris Joynt, their captain, is their top tackler. Joynt, who has an Irish parent, as he leads the Saints out. There he is, will play for Ireland in the World Cup this year. For middle place this, Ian Millwood looking for an early birthday present. That's his record in coaching. Of course, he was with Lee in the Northern Ford Premiership before he came here to Saints. But they have lost just 9 of 59 at home in Super League since the competition began. Fortress knows the road for Chris Joynt and co.
Certainly will be that they will be smarting from that loss. It was a shock loss against the Wakefield Wildcats. I'm sure that their coach Ian Millwood will want a vast improvement from last weekend.
Yes, he knows they've no margin for error as well. It's Saints against Warrington Wolves then. We're underway. This is the first set of 6. And the Saints with the first use of the football. Julian O'Neill probably on his way from Nosey Road at the end of the year, playing into Cunningham. Then he tips it infield to Sculthorpe. Formerly with the Warrington Wolves, Sculthorpe became the game's costliest forward when he moved to Nosey Road from Wilderspool. Sean Long gets the ball away, but it was not the best pass. Coe Love all over the top of the grounded Wellens. John Connolly, the referee. Oh, Toa Coe Love looked as though he tripped Kieran Cunningham there.
Well, he went for the Cumberland throw, and you're allowed to do that, but you saw there that Toa Coe Love released the man just before he put the foot across. Now, it is allowed in our game. It's a practice that I have been wanting to have banned for quite some time.
Well, I've never seen Toa Coe Love produce that sort of tackle before, but the man feeding the scrum, Alan Langer, is the man who almost discovered and invented that tactic. Oh, what a beautiful...
Oh, it's going to be obstruction. Well, it was a neat move. It's something that he's done throughout his career, as well as that wonderful tackle. You can see there that he used the fullback. No doubt about it. As soon as Lee Penny makes contact with Hoppy, that was sufficient for the referee John Connolly to give the penalty.
So here come the Saints with Julian O'Neill, Hilton, Farah in there quickly, and so too Steve McCurry. It's with Kieran Cunningham back in the starting lineup. Gives it to Perolini. Perolini gets the Saints to within 8 metres of that Warrington try line. Cunningham again to Long round his neck. Finds Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe stepping his way through. Cut down by Lee Penny in the end. It's with Long now, looping past to Perolini. Perolini then to Martin. First try. First attack. Tommy Martin. And St Helens, the champions, bouncing back from that defeated Wakefield in the best possible manner.
All brought about good work from the loose forward Paul Sculthorpe, and from that position neat work also by the big prop forward Perolini. Quick play the ball, missed out too. Lovely run around there with the prop forward Tommy Martin. gets the Saints off to a magnificent start. Looked like a planned move as well. Sean Long threw the long ball to the prop forward. Defence is not expecting the big fella like Perellini to be the first man, the first receiver. And they've come up trumps with 4. Will it be 6?
Should be from this range for Sean Long, left-footed over the top of the H. No problem then. St Helens 6, Warrington 0. And that, by the way, was the 90th try for St Helens from Tommy Martin. Already his best ever try-scoring season, number 18 of 2000. And Sean Long adding the extras with the trusty boot. Warrington then conceding a try in St Helens' first real attack. Perellini to drive the ball forward again. They have been on the end of some hidings and shellackings here at Knowsley Road over the years, and that is not the sort of start that Darrell van der Velde will want. O'Neill has skipped through another tackle. Oh, he nearly slipped it to Sean Long. Lallinger was all over the back of Long, and O'Neill held on to the football. Cunningham!
Great work there from the hooker. It looked a high shot indeed. But they're really up for this, the Saints. Quite a few of the spectators that I spoke to coming in before the start of this game, they were so disappointed. They travelled over to Wakefield, and a couple of them then intimated to me that they thought the side didn't put in 100%. They're certainly doing that now.
Such a terrific home record at Knowsley Road, the Saints. I've already mentioned it. 9 defeats in 59. Wonderful kick cross field from Sean Long, collected by Will Cowell, and he was dumped in goal. But the big question is, did Will Cowell take it? No, he didn't take it in goal. He jumped from the field of play.
No doubt about it. It was a cool catch, though. Well taken by the youngster. But he was never going to go anywhere other than be decked in the in-goal area. Good work from the skipper, Chris Joyne. Went straight to the shoulders of the young winger.
Well, St Helens with overwhelming advantage in league meetings between these two since 1973. And look at the record here at Knowsley Road. 23 victories for St Helens in 27 years. Warrington successful only 5 times.
It's important that Warrington get back into this game very quickly. 3 consecutive wins, of course, has lifted their spirits somewhat after a very poor start to this year. Oh, knocked on.
Pass
a little bit too fancy.
Yeah, it was dipping as well, the pass.
Well, they're working all the set moves in. That's the second time that they've run the simple run around. With Sean Long using the 2 dummy runners. Sculthorpe's pass always going to ground. What a season he's had, though, Sean Long. Really has been on fire throughout the year.
Welcome back to Super League 5, Mark Forster, one of the 30-something club. He's missed 18 with a broken arm. St Helens with overwhelming possession in the opening 5 minutes. It's been all them, but now a chance for the Wolves to attack with Hilton. Good defence though, Hoppy in there, and so too Tommy Martin. Farah, dummy half, Andrew G. Met head-on by O'Neill, by Cunningham, and joint there also. 5 metres inside their own half, Warrington. Lee Breers shaped a kick down the right-hand side, then angled his kick across field, and Steve Hall collects. And Steve Hall off on a good run. He's got not the speed.
High from Langer, straight into the face. And Steve Hall would have felt that right on the nose. Well, what on earth was the Australian Langer thinking of there? Bang! Well, that wasn't just in off the chest or off the top of the ball. That was a, let's have a look, and smack. Well, I've seen them sent off for less than that. That was just a malicious left swing straight into the face of the winger.
Only the penalty.
Somewhat fortunate. There's no hint of accident there. That was intended.
This is O'Neill now for St Helens. One of only 5 tries for Saints, coming against Warrington here in 1997 for Julian O'Neill. Here's Apollo Perellini. Off to pastures new at the end of this current Super League season. And getting the penalty. Warrington very, very slow to get off the grounded player.
Danny Farrar taking an eternity there. You have to release him. They failed to do that. Been around a long time as Danny Farrar, the hooker. But this could be costly.
Yes, Joint is running it. He's to within a metre of the line. He's almost there. The third penalty to St Helens. Warrington have yet to be given one by John Connolly. Here is Martin. Short ball to Tuilangi. He shaped to float the pass out wide and then just popped it up for Tuilangi.
Super skills there.
Long fires the pass out wide, intercepted. Steve Hall with the tackle, and it was on Mark Forster.
Well spotted. An experienced Forster there, read it extremely well. Long ball out wide, and both teams can play at this.
All penalised.
I'm not so sure that Ian Millwood would have been happy with the passages of play there. The intercept, of course, from Forster. And now they've given away a silly penalty. It's the first time, really, that Warrington in a position to launch anything.
Big hit by Perolini on Mark Hilton. But Warrington in the danger zone. This is Andrew G. to within 10 metres of the line now.
Watch for the blind side switch.
And it's with Nickow down that blind side. Wide it goes to Alan Hunt. He took that very well, but great tackle by Sean Long. Nickow to Langer. Langer then long ball to Lee Breers. Breers shaping for the kick, trying to dance his way through himself. Again Perolini with the tackle. It was secure. Farrar to Langer. Here's Alan Hunt. Try scorer par excellence for St Helens when he was in the white and red of the Saints in his career. 7th on their all-time try-scoring chart. It could be back to 0 this, it is. Warrington have 6 more. This is Ian Knott.
Certainly came off Sean Long. Well, the crowd are upset about that. Went behind Alfie Langer, and quite clearly
Off Cunningham.
Cunningham, should I say. Certainly a St Helens player.
So Warrington trying to exert more pressure in the shape of Andrew G. And he flicks it away under pressure from Perolini, and McCurry takes some stopping from close range. But Cunningham and Chris Joint stop him. It's now with Langer. Oh, beautiful! Oh, what a try! Alan Langer's 34 years of age. He might be reaching the veteran stage, but if this is given by the video referee, that was sheer class from Alan Langer.
Through a neat little dummy. Utilised the full-back Lee Penny. They all thought that, oh, that'll be given a try. Forearm, full control of it. Doesn't have to be the fingertips. This will be TRY time, but he really utilised the way that the full-back came outside. Saints were sucker.
And
Right
the try
into
given to Alan Langer. Try against St Helens at home in April also. Remember when he stole the ball from Tommy Martin over the try line.
Watch how the full-back was going to get into that position. And you can see there that Ferretti Tuilangi, he just moves out wide, leaves the gap. And the experience of Alfie, thank you very much indeed, goes low. Great try.
First try in 6 games for Alan Langer. And Lee Breers now with the opportunity to level the scores with this kick. And Breers slides the kick over the top of the bar. So the scores are level at Nosey Road, 6 points all.
There's Tuilangi, the man arrowed, that's the full-back Lee Penny. Gap appears, Langer sweeps through. May not be as fast as he was 4 or 5 years ago, but certainly has the skills and the guile.
Mark Hilton to charge the ball back at the St Helens line again. His head went back, and O'Neill, it was a marginal decision by John Connolly, but he shook his head immediately, the referee.
It was a big hit. And that looked right over the top of the shoulders. Well, this is getting tasty.
Farrar to Alan Hunt. Halted just inside his own half of the field. Farrar again, ball inside. Andrew G running strongly.
Pretty solid defence by Saints. They're using the compressed defensive line as yet. It's only when Warrington get close to their line do they spread out wide, but great work from Coelho.
Little ball out the back door, but gobbled up by Sean Hoppy.
Well, all that good work undone by a very poor pass in the end by the centre. With all that hard work, they've lost it. Element of a drop by Andrew G.
Well, Sullivan he wasn't tackled. There wasn't a Warrington hand on him, and G just dropped on the grounded player.
Good work, though, from the Wolves. After that shock start, Tommy Martin tried. That's the second occasion that Danny Farrell's been caught, but I get the impression that Danny's just picked up a knock.
Yes, he did.
And rather unfortunately, it appears that, yeah, you can see there a bit of blood, I think, screaming through, and I don't think Mr. Farrer knew what on earth was happening at this point in time. A bit of claret on show. Stray boot, no doubt. He's a tough guy. He'll be back in a few minutes, I'm sure.
He's off to the dressing room for a stitch or two to be inserted in the eye, and Paul Noon has come on to replace him. He's in the blood bin, Danny Farrer. Long, good movement. Wellens down the right-hand side, hauled down by Mark Forster. Here is Tuilangi, who drops it.
Well, it was a problem that they displayed at Wakefield last weekend. Their ball retention was very poor indeed. And in fact, from the stats from last week, I think St. Helens came up with a Super League record. They only completed it, Eddie, 3 sets of 6 in the second half. That is extremely low for any team, be it professional or amateur.
And certainly for a team that is looking for the summit of the Super League and that league leaders spot to take with them to the playoffs. They're trying to put the memory of that defeat behind them here. They started very brightly, but Warrington gradually getting back into this game.
Come here, Captain Chris!
Well, he's had enough of John Connolly. He's calling Chris Joint over, interfering at the play of the ball. Curry couldn't get on with wanting to do exactly that. Sean Hoppy was at fault, but the skipper will get a few words of warning, and it'll be yellow card time next.
We've done nothing, both teams, to hold down, okay? We're going to warn it to both sides. Next one, you know what's going to happen. Sorry. Okay? Both sides. Next one who holds down, interferes, push them in.
So that's both sides warned. Alan Langer didn't look terribly impressed. And we'll see now whether John Connolly will keep to his word.
Well, the reason why Langer was unimpressed is they'd received a penalty. He couldn't understand why he should have got a warning as well. His side, that is.
6 penalties, 4 of them to St. Helens. Andrew G has got Lee Penny.
Looked as touch forward, that one, but they got away with it.
Great tackle by Wellens. This is Langer. That was forward.
He dropped it anyway.
The moment it left his hands, John Connolly blew the whistle.
Good opportunity blown there. It was good work, but not getting this football. And you can see there that the St. Helens defence, they're hesitating. And if you do that against this guy, he'll run you ragged.
This Hull will testify to that. Great win for Warrington last week. Hull having lost today, that's the end of them as far as the top 5 is concerned. And if Warrington lose here, it'll be the end of them also. So the top 5 will be settled once and for all.
Well, the one thing that Warrington are doing is that they are being extremely aggressive. And the Saints players, they're not taking too kindly to this. Whether they anticipated a Sunday evening stroll is anyone's guess, but they're not going to get one.
Well, it has always been the case when Warrington come here that aggression forms part and parcel of their game plan.
It's often the case, you know, Eddie, when a side scores so early, as St. Helens did, should I say, it's, that they go to sleep somewhat. They think, oh, this is going to be easy. Mentally, it goes against them.
Will Cowell is hauled to the floor by Tuilangi.
That'll certainly help their cause. They need to get in a couple of big hits here to the Saints defenders.
Mark Foster plays the ball to Alan Hunt, and Lee Briers clips the ball over the top, and Briers is leading the race himself. Wellens is lobbing after this, gets it on his own try line, and we've had the... Oh, and Langan, Briers rather, nearly stole the ball then. But we had the... Oh, it's great defence. Great defence from Lee Briers to drop out from underneath the sticks. Now, Wellens lost his footing, and I was just about to tell you we had the mother and father of a thunderstorm here about an hour before the kick-off, and this pitch will be very greasy.
Greasy or not, we'll take away the fact that Lee Briers and the Warrington Wolves are well and truly up for this. We often speak about the fact that if you get into the opposition faces, then they don't like it. Oh, that's a good bit of play. Short kick-off, and they've got away with it.
Steve, it wasn't planned that, because Tommy Martin went flat on his backside, and Paul Sculthorpe was the first to react. That was yet another indication of just how greasy this Knowsley Road surface is. Look at this. Whip. And I'm not so sure that Sculthorpe was onside.
Well, they never are these days, but thankfully the officials don't blow up for that. I can't remember any side having to drop out from underneath the sticks where there have been half a dozen in front of the kicker.
Here's Cunningham down the short side with Tuilangi. Tuilangi trying to out-muscle them down there.
Well, he's the man that is leading the way. So's this fella,
Cunningham.
That will lift their spirits. They needed it.
That was the last, though. Maybe didn't hear the call from John Connolly. Saints Warrington here tonight. Next Sunday, what a match we have in prospect at the JJB Stadium. Wigan against Bradford. Remember, 12 all in midweek last time we saw those two tangle at that stadium. It was regarded as one of the finest matches that Super League has ever staged, and you get the chance to see the return next Sunday here on Sky Sports. And if you can't get to the game, which of course is the very best way, well, join us here on Sky Sports. We'd be delighted to have your company for what will be, well, it could even be a dress rehearsal for Old Trafford, that.
Well, if it's anything like what we had on Friday, oh, that was forward. Oh, lack of understanding there. That is poor play. Why on earth they've got a prop forward in the dummy half position anyway is beyond belief. Prop forwards are not known for their ball handling skills in regards to getting in at the play the ball area, as was proven.
It was rough.
He likes to rough things up.
Here's O'Neill. Not gets to him. And nick-out could have been done for the flop, though maybe he was committed.
Well, there's a big question being asked now to the champions. Do they have the wherewithal? Can they dig deep? But more importantly, have they got the fire in the belly?
It's with Long. Now with Tommy Martin. Tommy Martin just dropped the shoulder. Brilliant try. Oh, this fella's having a season and a half. The Martin-Long combination. That's the key to St Helens' success this year. Tommy Martin, second of the night.
It was Langan that threw the dummy for the last try. It's Martin that throws this one. Superb piece of rugby league football. As Eddie has mentioned, he's having a season and a half. Nice and lazy was the dummy. He knew he had the speed. He knew that he could get round the big fella. And there was no doubt about it that he was on his way. Oh, that's super stuff. Something the prop forward could do about it. Dives early, slides on the surface. Boy, oh boy, the Saints needed that. They were well and truly on the rack.
Sean Long with the conversion attempt here from an almost identical position that he kicked his first. Kicks his second. St Helens have a 12-6 lead, and Tommy Martin is certainly repaying the faith of Ian Millwood. He was on the outer when Ellery Hanley was here. Millwood moved in, Martin moved back on the inside field, and boy oh boy is he repaying him.
He has repaid him handsomely. And it looks as though he's enjoying himself ever so much this season.
Well, the long Martin combination, Steve, there's nothing much better than that in Super League at the moment.
Too true. But it's nice to see a side that, you know, when they sort of just want to lift, they can do it. I posed the question, did they have the fire in the belly? Tommy Martin certainly did.
They must have heard you.
Well, they were being battered, and it looked as though Saints didn't want to be part and parcel of the party. Oh, that was pretty high, and he's got him. The Frenchman, Gissé. Bang, right over the top. Mr. Cunningham had a little bit of a look at the referee and said, come on. Silly penalty to give away. Well, twists and turns of this game so far. We now have to pose the question, can Warrington's defence be equal to the task?
Cunningham to Martin, beautiful ball to Matautia!
No second phase.
Big hole up the middle. Good job that McCurry got hold of his ankles.
He had the chance to offload that. He really did have the opportunity. Oh, that's a poor pass.
Well, that's the second time that Tuilangi has lost possession. Penny's off on his way now. Hauled down by Iro.
Well, this was really telegraphed. It wasn't the best pass from the loose forward, Skelthorpe. Well,
Tuilangi just couldn't hang on.
He certainly has worked hard, Tuilangi, and he got in a good hit then, even though that they offloaded. It really is hotting up this. Both sides now, after the opening exchanges, quite happy to keep this ball alive. But St. Helens will be ruining the fact that Tuilangi went through, had the opportunity to offload. There was no one there.
High tackle now on Gissé.
Well, they're all square now. You gave me one, now I'm giving you one. Let's hope that both players...
And there's been a right porridge of it made here by Warrington. And the referee's got Alan Langer for a knock-on.
Went for the quick tap.
Seconds in.
And just lost it.
Hey! Don't strike for that ball. Come on, get it.
Well, that will not bring a smile to the face of Darrell van der Velde, that is for sure. Oh, that was pretty hard from Alan Hunt. Really gave himself up there. And he took the quick tap and knocked on.
Yes, he's saying the referee was in his way.
Play ball. Go away. Play ball.
Well, he's wearing a pretty bright yellow.
Perolini, marauding run, gives it wide, Steve Hall, good tackle.
He is always on his way over the touchline there.
Well,
Great
Mark
run.
Forster's only just back, and this is a great tackle.
Did the right thing, Perolini. Certainly knew that the wing it out on his right-hand side had more speed, but the old-timer, Mark Forster, was not going to be kidded like that.
Penalty for mouthing off.
Well, it amazes me. It bores me to say it, but some of these players we've seen this year, not the captains I had, who are just intent on having a chat. Oh, that was a big hit from Tuilangi.
It was on Gissé. This is Ian Knott. And there's Perolini and Kevin Iro to bring him down. Danny Farah. Inside it comes to Andrew G.
Warrington quite happy to use the big forwards, driving towards the middle. They have the skills, of course, with Breers and Langer combination. Oh, that's no man's land. That was always going towards the whitewash.
Sean Long, terrific defence. Little scrum half on a big second row forward, and he's over the whitewash.
Great upper body strength there. Pretty tight to run the blind side. They were well stacked. Only needed Long's strength to finish him off.
This is Paul Wellens. Bodies everywhere. Now Chris Joint. Up the middle he goes.
Tiptoe through the tulips. That was an excellent step off the left foot there from the skipper.
Here's Sean Hoppy.
That's good work as well. Quick play the ball, catching the Warrington defence. They're on the back foot most of the time now.
Sculthorpe.
Offside. That's the reason why the cat's in, because it made no attempt to go back to 10. Sean Long will want to get on with this. There was only the full back that was actually 10 metres back. 12 to select from Mr. Connolly.
Well, St Helens will certainly have designs on the grand final. They were there last year. They won the Super League trophy, of course, and Super League 5 this year, 14th of October at Old Trafford. They kick off at 6:30, and the number for information about the big event is 0113 244 11114, and the Super League Europe line will be open first thing in the morning. So if you need any information at all about Old Trafford, which will be ringing to the sound of Super League on October the 14th, get on the telephone and ring Super League Europe. St Helens, meanwhile, are now within 3 metres. Cunningham to Long, to Tommy Martin. Martin showed it again. Lost his footing, was able to get up and give it to Iro. No, soft defence from Saints. Referee's not giving it yet.
Just check.
He wants to check whether a Warrington defender was taken out after Tommy Martin had lost his feet.
Now the big question is, Tommy Martin has to go across the line of where the dummy runner is coming from. This is where he falls, and I think you may find that he has, even though it was accidental. The video ref may deem that Mr. Tuilangi, who comes now, no real interference perhaps because of the fact that Martin slipped through, maybe not an intentional dummy. It's a 50-50 on that. Either way, it's TRY or NO. TRY.
Well,
I'll go for the NO.
He certainly took the player out, didn't he? And the video referee agrees. Penalty kick going to Warrington.
Well, that's extremely fortunate for Warrington, because the last 4 or 5 minutes their defence really has been cut to ribbons.
Oh, and they've not found touch now with the penalty.
Well, we've had Langer knocking on in a wonderful attacking position.
Oh, here goes Wellens now. Langer with a good tackle, finished off by Farah on halfway.
Now this is the big problem that we're having now with this Warrington defence in and around the ruck area. They're being caught out.
Matautia just managing to hang on. Sean Long, Tommy Martin dabs it over for Sullivan to chase. Powell had a little look over his shoulder. He's lost it.
He's lost it, but I think he's got it back. It'll be a dropout anyway. Surely no try. And John Connolly agrees with my decision too. Not that mine counts. Beautifully weighted kick. They got back all right, but had a real meal of it. Cowell missed it, and the chance was there. Sullivan didn't realise it, and somehow Willie Cowell retrieved the ball. Real let-off.
Yes, the 20-year-old winger, his heart would have been in his mouth then. This now is Perolini again. They're drilling holes now in this Warrington defence. We've got 10 minutes to half-time. Warrington beginning to tire a little, and Hall has brushed away from one, gets it away to Matautia. That's good defence, though, on that occasion by Coa Love.
Well, Warrington are going back into their old habits that they showed early in the season, where, see how they hang off. They're making a move forward and then taking 3 steps back. Hesitation. You'll always get beaten if you start doing that in defence.
Oh, this is Iro now. Denied by the video referee not long ago. Oh, he's such a strong man.
It's got to be a penalty.
It has.
Good call, play the ball. And they're beginning to lose the plot somewhat, are the Wolves. Look at the strength of this man.
And there's someone on his way to the bin here. Yellow card, Alan Hunt.
Well,
Well, he's said, didn't he? Any more interference to play the ball, someone will be on his way to the bin.
Well, that's the last thing that
Only 10 metres.
the Warrington side needed. He called held there and he continued on to interfere. And he knows that this will be pretty difficult now to keep out the rampant Saints, especially this guy. Tuilangi is working overtime both in attack and defence.
Well, they kept him out that time, 10 metres away. Sculthorpe flicked past to Perolini again. Back it goes to Cunningham. Cunningham keeps it moving to Iro. Iro trying to go round Briers, who did well, took him low. Nickow all over the top of him. And there's another penalty here, and Nickow could be on his way to the bin.
Well, I think he's going to give him the benefit of the doubt. And there's a problem for one of the Saints players.
It's Perolini. Yes, it is.
Perolini is limping off. It looks as though he could be finished for the game. He tried to run it out, but as he twisted over on that left ankle. It's a tough hombre. But they're taking the safety first option. Let's get him off. Let's have a look at him.
So Ian Millwood asks Julian O'Neill to come back for Perolini, who goes off injured. Remember, Warrington down to 12 men, and Iro trying to barge his way over the line. From that resultant penalty, Hall went without it.
Good work from Lee Briers, but surely he must have been in an offside position, unless, of course, both his legs were over the dead-in goal line. Now, Briers is claiming that he hit his hand. The touch judge said that he knocked the ball forward. It's classified as Briers is... Now, Briers is offside. He wasn't square.
And he's hit the ball.
Look at Briers. I mean, he's not a... You know, the only way you can get away with that if both legs are on the whitewash or in the in-goal area. Neither was.
Saints.
Oh, big hit there from Penny.
Well, he wasn't going to be fooled by that would-be dummy. Here is Sculthorpe now. Wide it goes to Sullivan. Try. And Steve McCurry nearly kicks the ball over the top of the stand. Sullivan with the try. In the corner. And all that pressure from St Helens. The penalty. The decision also to give them head and feet in the scrum has come up with the goods for them.
Good play here. Beautiful long ball from the loose forward. And it was always going to be a problem with one man down. Alan Hunt, of course, in the sin bin. Wonderful situation. All came about from the incident from Briers. Well, that's ridiculous that he thinks he could get away with that. It should have been a penalty anyway. It's a four-pointer. Perfect pass. Perfect finish too by Sullivan.
Anthony Sullivan with the try. A try last week against Wakefield, of course, was his first in 5 games. And his last try on this ground was against Warrington in June. And he appears to like the day that Warrington come to town. So, 16-6 it is. This kick from Sean Long is considerably more difficult than his first two. He's about 1.5 meters in from touch on this near side. And he's a left-footed kicker as well, so it's not the best angle for him. But Long with the opportunity to post 2 more points for Saints. Trying to draw it towards the post, but that showed how difficult it was. 16-6.
Well, you can see how the sliding defence failed to slide out, really out wide. Sullivan took full advantage. This was a superb pass though from Sculthorpe. Well worked, and the finish was outstanding. It's a problem now for Warrington, but they still have Alan Hunt in the sin bin, and they are falling off the tackles.
Kick-off ball on the ground, picked up by Paul Wellens. And the shadows lengthening. We've got some late evening sunshine here at Knowsley Road after all the rain and the thunder and lightning. Alan Hunt still in the sin bin.
And that has not been to Warrington's advantage. He really should have been utilising the high kick with Saints having the sun in their faces, but really, a few opportunities. To be fair, they did come up with one great try.
Cunningham
from Alan Langer.
Touch of interference again. Cunningham putting the ball on the floor though before he got to his feet. The chip over the top is an invitation for Joint. Penny was brave.
Had to make a big decision there. It was a wonderful kick. And the position of the fullback was outstanding.
He's got a bang as well. Lee Penny's in a bit of strife, as you can see. Warrington trying to work the ball out now of their own quarter.
Big
they have
hit
12 men.
On the left hip it is for the fullback.
Mark Foster takes the tackle, the fourth, exactly 20 metres away from his own line. Langer gives it some width to Koilov, but that's wonderful defence from Chris Joint.
Well, again, Saints utilising this compact defence. They slide out when the ball comes out wide, and that's a poor kick, really.
Right down the middle. Wellens did have to retreat to pick it up. Here goes Sullivan, Welsh international. Oh, that's good chasing back and harrying by this Warrington 3, led by Langer. Koilov is in there as well, and also Will Cowell, and they get him over the line.
Well, as the referee called hell, if it is, it's going to be a penalty. Well, they appear to have been stopped. Cowell wanted to carry on.
Play the ball there, hold it up. Ball, the ball's there. Give him the ball. It's the first one, shouted hell.
Well, if he shouted hell,
and they didn't hold and stop,
it's going to be a penalty. Now, what on earth is John Connolly doing? Is he making up the rules as he goes on, or what?
Hell, two!
Well, he shouted hell, so if Cowell continues on, well, that's mystifying me. Not the best, and that's poor play.
Warrington have it back, Andrew G. Nick out, Langer, collared by Chris Joint. Minute and a half to go, first half. Warrington looking to post a try to reduce the deficit at the break. Saints, of course, trying to keep them out. With G now, Warrington trying to go inside Matautia.
Now then, what can little Alfie conjure up here?
It's with him now, Langer.
Good defence. Did well to offload, but not the best.
Lee Penny fully recovered from the bang on the hip. Trying to go underneath to Alangi. Still a couple of tackles remaining. It's with Breers. They want the kick slid through. McCurry's after it. Saints have got it back. Julian O'Neill.
Neat little kick from Breers. Hoppy made a real meal of it. And it was pretty close to being offside there, but I think Julian O'Neill just slid past the point where it came off the St. Helens player. Touch and go. Nice option there from Breers.
This is O'Neill again, and he gets over the 40-metre mark before he takes the tackle. I must say, in his 4 years that he's been at Knowsley Road, Julian O'Neill has been a model of consistency. He's got on with his job in the most unfashionable way, an unsung hero. Oh, and Nick out, Shafee's had a pop at Wellens. It's been that sort of a match, hasn't it? Lovely dink over the top by Martin. Well watched, though, by Langer.
That'll do it.
That's half-time. Van der Velde leaves the scene, followed quickly by Ian Millwood. 16 points to 6, Saints lead. Langer with the only try for the Saints. But Tommy Martin, his 2 of the 3 tries tonight for St Helens have illuminated this match. Great skill on show from the St Helens stand-off half. It's been an aggressive, rough, tough, niggly sort of occasion. But the Saints, they're 10 points to the good. And after the debacle that they had at Wakefield last week, they will be well pleased for all of that. But it's a long way from one, this one.
waiting finally over. Time to focus on the challenge ahead. A new Premiership season, but a different ball game. Same desire, same ambition, same commitment. The Premiership of Rugby Union, an elite 12 teams in a league of their own. Ford Rugby Union, Bristol v Saracens, next Saturday at 1:30, live on Sky Sports 2.
With cutting-edge design you can see, and advanced technology you can't, the Focus has always attracted attention. But now, with £1,500 cashback, it's even easier to see why Ford demands a closer look.
Everyone on the floor!
Stop! What are you doing? This bank is not ready yet. There's no money. There's no safe. There isn't even a roof. You can't rush these things, guys. It's like Grolsch. It's brewed longer for a fuller taste, and it's only released when it's ready. Chris?
Grolsch. We only let you drink it when it's ready.
Surprises in life already. So at Specsavers Opticians, we make everything clear. All our spectacles are displayed at prices which include our frames and our single vision lenses. So the price you see is the price you'll pay. Complete price from Specsavers. We make sure there are no surprises.
More live cricket coming up for you next week. Action from the County Championship as Leicestershire take on Lancashire. Our exclusively live coverage starts on Tuesday morning from 11 o'clock, Sky Sports 1, and for Sky digital viewers it's live and interactive on Sky Sports Extra. Half time here in the Super League, and St Helens ahead by 16 points to 6. Tommy Martin's 2 tries, 1 from Anthony Sullivan, 2 goals from Long, Langer with the try and Breers with the kick for the Warrington Wolves. Well, Ian Millwood just studying there. He's the man sitting down between the 2 doors, and he is just studying the notes he's made on that first half performance from St Helens. And down the corridor, Darrell van der Velde holding court, and he knows that Warrington have yet to beat St Helens in Super League. This is their 10th try, and so far they have failed to succeed. But they've got 40 minutes still to come back in this match. They're pretty aggressive, Warrington, aren't they? They usually are, to be fair, when they come here to Knowsley Road, but they have gone home in the past on the back of some pretty big hidings, and they don't want that again here this week, because they're into this game on the back of their best winning sequence in Super League for over 12 months. 3 straight wins, but they're behind at half-time, although St Helens will still have Wakefield ringing in their ears from last week, Steve-O.
Yeah, they certainly will. We anticipated that they would come out, and they certainly started on fire, didn't they? But I must say that Warrington really did ever so well in that, shall we say, the mid part of that first half, mainly due to the fact that they really got into the St. Helens faces. And I mentioned during the commentary that sometimes when a side scores a try extremely early in the game, mentally can go against you. And it was a try that came within actually the first 60 seconds. It was a beauty too, wasn't it? The way that they put them in a good position, Sean Long, and watch how they use Perolini as the first receiver. Tommy Martin comes around on the loop. No one got anywhere near him. But when you've got this guy on any side, Alan Langer, notice how he uses the fullback here, Lee Penny, through the dummy. Tuilangi goes out wide. Nothing that Perolini could do about it. And at this point, it was a resurgent Warrington that came through to it. But it took something quite outstanding yet again to break the defence. Tommy Martin, see how slow he threw that dummy. Nothing that Hilton could do about that. And it looked as though Saints were going to take control. And in fact, the next one, they were denied, mainly due to the fact that watch how Tommy Martin slips and Tuilangi makes contact with Alan Hunt. The try, it actually went to Iro. It was turned down by the video referee. But this was superb. Good build-up. Here's Breers. He was offside. It should have been a penalty. It didn't turn out that way, but from the scrum they set up, and Sculthorpe's long pass out wide. You can see that they were caught. Sullivan, one of the best finishers in the game, and St. Helens, you feel that in the second half could run away with it. But the one thing about Warrington, every time they've come out after an ear bashing from their coach, Daryl van der Velde, they really have put in a good 10-15 minutes. They'll have to, because St. Helens look as though they are really out there to score plenty of points in this second half.
And we've mentioned, haven't we, the way that Warrington do try to rough up the opposition every time they come to Knowsley Road. And to be fair to Warrington, they've beaten Leeds and they've beaten Bradford this year, so it's somewhere in the bag, isn't it? It's there if they can just find it.
Oh, without doubt, they've got the skills out there, and of course we've got Breers and Langer orchestrating things out there. Now, providing the forwards can give them a good platform, they can do that. But I just got the feeling that Ian Millward, the St. Helens coach, would have had quite a few words to say to his charges. Only Tuilangi in the forwards impressed me in the first 40 minutes. I think we'll see a better performance by the pack in the second stanza.
Well, at this point, let me remind you, as usual, about the man of the match vote that you can become involved in. And the man of the match who plays out there on the pitch tonight goes home with the usual prize, the wristwatch. That will be adorning the arm of the man of the match this evening. And the losing coaching staff, of course, will choose the man of the match. But you can have your say, as always. Our viewers' competition running as ever, 09009 10 10 13. See if you can predict who the losing coach's choice will be. The prize, 2 tickets to that grand final at Old Trafford on the 14th of October, and every winner will go into the draw to win the box at Old Trafford on the big night. 09009 10 10 13, with about 20 minutes, as always, of this match remaining. Well, we are now starting to think, aren't we, about the grand final for Super League 5. In Australia, they're doing more than think about it. We can tell you now who the grand finalists are, because earlier on this morning, Brisbane Broncos beat the Parramatta Eels 16-10, a great fight back in the second half from the Eels. And yesterday, Newcastle Knights were beaten 20-26 by the Sydney Roosters, Graham Murray's team, in one of the great comebacks of semi-final series football in Australia. We've got highlights of both those matches in case you missed them live Wednesday at 8 o'clock on Sky Sports 3, that's in Rugby League World. And then next Sunday, the Broncos take on the Roosters in the grand final. It's a 6 o'clock start in the morning, so set your alarm clocks early for that. It's live from the Olympic Stadium, Australia, the Broncos against the Roosters. It's their grand final next Sunday at 6 in the morning, and it's live on Sky Sports 1. Well, they've got their grand finalists. St. Helens are hoping they will be grand finalists in the Super League this year, and they would go a long way towards securing the top spot going into the playoff series if they can overcome the Warrington Wolves here. But listen, Warrington won't be lying down and dying for them. They, remarkably, have top 5 hopes of their own.
The new season of the Premiership continues. Arsenal face Liverpool. No Petit, no Overmars. The Gunners reshuffling the pack to recapture winning ways.
Oh, look at that!
With the Reds building on the promise of last season. It's English rivalry with French know-how. And when these friends meet, sparks will fly. Arsenal v Liverpool on Ford Monday Night Football, live and interactive tomorrow from 7 on Sky Sports 1 and Extra.
The mobile phone is changing. Switch to BT Cellnet's new internet phone and you can email anyone in the world. So now for the same price as an ordinary mobile, you can keep in touch with whoever you want, whenever you want. Surf the net. Surf the BT...
Argos, right to shopping. Thanks for missing the football for me.
It's a pleasure.
I won't have it out sminting till 3 in the morning.
Aren't you being a little overprotective?
Oh, Daddy!
Smint, intensely stimulating.
Imagine your family was protected by your own secret army, who helped keep every surface hygienically clean. There's no need to imagine with Dettol, protector of your world.
This is Kibler regarding your washing machine.
Oh, smashing great.
I've serviced a gas appliance and repaired a washing machine in the same house. They understand that you're qualified and trained to do it.
The actual drum was moving, but not moving round.
The drive belt that came off the drum, it also became damaged, so I fitted a new one.
The cooker's covered. It's all covered. Fridge, freezer.
There you go.
Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Great.
Brilliant.
Well done,
Thanks.
Hey!
Sorry, Charlie.
Hello, deal seekers!
Hello!
There are so many fantastic deals at Iceland, aren't there, boys?
Fantastic.
I just can't sleep.
Me neither.
In fact, I've been up all night just thinking about these.
Buy one, get one free. Buy one, get one free. And this baby's half price.
Am I the only one who believes in fantastic deals?
We believe! We believe!
What's it like being a soldier?
Are you ready to join the men of war? We are in the business of winning wars. 3 visions of military madness.
War is hell.
World War II action when trumpets fade.
I'm not taking a bullet for anybody.
Kurt Russell.
Soldier! Sir!
Soldier. This is where my command comes in. And Kelsey Grammer. The Pentagon Wars. Join the Men of War. Tonight from 8:15 on Sky Movie Max.
Coming up tomorrow night, our first Monday night football of the new Premiership season. It's Arsenal against Liverpool, and our exclusively live coverage starts tomorrow night from 7 o'clock Sky Sports 1, and for Sky digital viewers it's live and interactive on Sky Sports Extra. Half-time at Knowsley Road, Saints 16, Warrington 6. The Saints with designs on top spot to take with them into the playoff series. So important, of course. It means they have 2 bites at the cherry, and more importantly, they get a week off 1 week, and they get home runs all the way, they hope, to Old Trafford in the grand final. And Tommy Martin, the man who has done most with Sean Long to propel them towards a 10-point lead in this match at the half-time interval. Irish international Alan Hunt has about a minute and a half of his sin bin sentence to go, and then he will be back on the field. So Warrington will start this second half with just 12 men on the field, defending the kickoff from Sean Long, left-footed high, collected by Danny Farrar, and Guisset to run it back, and Cunningham was there with Julian O'Neill, the first tackle of the second half. Here's Lee Penny now for the Warrington Wolves.
Been a real battle royal, hasn't it, between Cunningham and the Frenchman Guisset. More to come, I'm sure. Pretty solid defence, especially from Warrington for about 15 minutes in that first half, but the biggest problem, Eddie, was in and around the ruck area. The first and second markers, they were being caught by the mere fact that St Helens were playing the football extremely quickly.
This is McCurry. He gets over the halfway line. Sculthorpe in there with the tackle to help out Tommy Martin. I just wonder whether Darrell van der Velde will be happier with the Warrington defence at the moment. They have only got the Giants, Salford and Wakefield, who have conceded more tries in Super League this year. But he appears over the past month anyway to have really tightened this defence. All right, they've conceded 3 tries tonight as Alan Hunt waits to come back into the action. Perra and Tuilangi somehow held on to that football, but I just wonder if that is a cause of, well, not celebration for Darrell van der Velde, but a little less cause for concern. Wellens down injured.
More concern is the fact that I think it was Andrew G that really came late. It wasn't a flop because the first attempted Warrington player released him. You can see that Lee Breers had released him, and Andrew G just barreled the full-back Paul Welland. Getting back to that point in defence, Eddie, we've seen throughout this season that Warrington's biggest problem is that they don't get out of the blocks for the full 40 minutes in a half. In as much that you can't just have a good defence for 15-20 minutes, it has to be throughout the first period.
Alan Hunt is back, there he is, first touch since he came out of the sin bin. And Cunningham, Matautia and Jointer there to pull him down. Farah to Alan Langer. Langer, oh, it was high from Hoppy.
No doubt about it either. Langer delayed it and Hoppy arrived. McCurry caught it. And when he picked him out, did Hoppy, he knew that Langer was going to offload late. And he went far too high. Quite a few of those.
Well, it would be a real tonic for Warrington if they could get over the whitewash here. This set of 6 there, now 12 metres away from the St Helens try line. It's with Farah. Oh, that ball's come out. Someone else is in the bin, and it's going to be Julian O'Neill.
Tit for tat.
In the bin.
They've both been warned, and John Connolly is consistent with the call tonight on this nonsense.
Quite clearly could see the right arm deliberately being pushed underneath the chest, where inevitably the football will always be when you're about to play the ball. So it's the Saints now have to struggle with one man down.
And Warrington in possession with Breers. Spins away from Iro. Tuilangi was there. Iro gets him second occasion. Farah, the dummy half, looks inside and he sees Nick out. Nick out taking on Cunningham and Matautia. Grounded 10 metres away from the line. Farah to Langer. Langer delayed, floating the pass out wide. Eventually didn't found Penny. Then Langer comes back on the loop to take the return. Langer once more. Tackled by Cunningham. Back where he started.
Good job, the hooker was there as well.
Here's Farah. It's now with Breers. Breers to be a knot. All down just short of the line. They are so close, Warrington. Another bit of interference to play the ball.
Should have been a penalty.
Oh, he's got the knock on, according to John Connolly.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that Long
or mine
interfered there. Watch the arm from Long.
Maybe we do miss the Long with the service.
That's for sure.
Andrew G was talking out of turn to Mr. Connolly. It's a penalty, and Saints are running it with Long, and Long's pass is way too high for Anthony Sullivan.
As his name suggests, made the break. The pass was too long, but it came in full work though, that the wing had actually got a fingertip to that. This should be head and feet to Saints. Has the official seen it? I think the replay proved quite convincingly that certainly was touched, yes. There's got it right as the official.
Yes, it's St Helens head and feet. Well, it's been a busy opening 5 minutes to the half. We're a bit late in getting the half-time news, but it's coming now, and...
Well, Lee Millwood says that these 15 minutes will show us who wants this game more. He's pleased with the way the Saints have worked so far.
Interception, Alan Hunt! Alan Hunt for the corner, will score here. Warrington get first blood second half. Sean Long's pass And Warrington will not go to sleep. Formerly with St Helens, of course, Alan Hunt, and Long's pass telegraphed. And Hunt scoots in for the try.
Howard's watching the video has paid off. They do this ever so often, use the dummy runner through, delay the pass on the second phase of attack. Alan Hunt ready to perfection. The dummy there, and that allowed Alan Hunt the space. Nick Howe gave Mr. Long a pat on the back, says thank you very much. If you dummy like that, you're always going to be susceptible for someone to stand in that area. And Alan Hunt took it. A bit like Brad Fittler on Saturday for the Roosters, which turned the game. Could he do the same?
Well, Breers with this kick. You say that Tawera Nikau gave Long a pat on the back. I'm not so sure he didn't pull him back. But Breers adds the extra 2. And it's 16-12 to the Saints for Warrington. First blood, second half.
Well, I think you'll find that Nikau...
Well, you just watch as he passes the ball. Watch Nikau. Here, now, watch there.
Just held him back, pat on the back, that's fair enough. There's no way in the world that Sean Long could have stopped this fella.
Off the knees of Farah. And Farah takes the tackle 22 metres from his own line. Well, it's risky to leave this match at all, but we're going to again back to Angela and half-time news.
Yeah, as I said, Ian Millwood says the first 15 minutes of this half will show who wants it more, and I think we've seen so far that they both want it really, really well. Saints have worked well so far, he says, and he wants all that again and more from them. He said it's a fast and physical game, and he wants them to go out and enjoy this. I don't think they've been enjoying it very much so far, though. Daryl van der Velt's been clearly upset with some of the rest decisions. He believes the Wolves have been on the rough end of some of them, but is generally happy with the team performances. A man down in the first half and under pressure, he believes he kept the score to a winnable level, and with some determination and character, they can overcome Saints' speed and strength and win this game.
Well, they're off to a perfect start in the second half, but Coe Love has just dropped the ball. That's why we had the scrum, and this is why Iro is in possession. Breers didn't get a hand on him, Penny did, and so too did Alan Hunt. Long, the dummy half, to Paul Wellens, the young fullback.
Well, Saints will be better served to get back to basics. Use the forwards and really rampage down, trying to pull the Warrington defence into one section of the field. Then the magic of Sean Long, Tommy Martin can produce something perhaps, or the strength of this man, Kieran Cunningham.
9 metres away, Sculthorpe to Long. Wide it goes to Tommy Martin. Martin scooting inside, hat-trick time! Hat-trick time for Tommy Martin! He did it at Wigan in far more dramatic circumstances, but Tommy Martin then just tiptoed his way to the line, and that's the third of the 4 tries Saints have scored tonight, and the 3 of them to Tommy Martin.
Good surge by Cunningham, allowed the three-quarter line to give this man the opportunity. Combination of the 2 half-backs, how many times has that served them well? Through the dummy and the step, gets the hat-trick. Well, it's amazing. He has become a cult hero here. The Saints fans love him, and it's hard to think that 7 months ago they wanted to get rid of him.
Long to add 2 more points, he hopes. Missed with a kick way out on the touchline. This far closer to the posts, and he gets the extras. 22-12. St Helens 10-point lead restored. But Tommy Martin, the 4th hat-trick of his career, the 3rd of his St Helens life.
Basic principles of rugby league football, the surge from the forward onto the right-hand side. It was done by Cunningham to perfection. The link between the 2 halfbacks, and produces yet another try.
Matautia driving the ball in, yet again at speed. Gets 20 metres ground. Here goes Cunningham once more. Pushes Gise out of the way. Lovely ball out the back door to Matautia. On it goes then to Tuilangi. Here's Sean Long now, scampering run from him. Paul Wellens nearly through, but good tackle from Alan Langer, the old master. It's with Hoppy. Hoppy can't release the pass. Busby and McCurry with the tackle. Cunningham, Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe stabs the ball into the open space. Mark Forster has to turn, collects on his own try line. And he's lost it. Ball is lost. Foster's got it back.
No advantage, he'll take the scrum. Good work there by Tuilagi. Now then, was it reefed out? I think it might have been reefed out by Steve Hall, and was Kevin Iro hanging on. This really should be a penalty to the Warrington Wolves. That's unfortunate, but you could see Tuilagi there that he didn't want to take that ball in case the referee John Connolly allowed advantage. Run the risk of going into touch.
The Saints with the possession from the scrum. Here's Matautia, there's Wellens, there's 4. Right behind the sticks, Paul Wellens. From the base of the scrum, Warrington's defence was nowhere. Little smile from the man celebrating his birthday. Wellens with a try, number 11 of the campaign for the 20-year-old fullback.
Well, I think he's been badly done to here. I think this should have been a penalty. I thought that ball was reefed out by Hall. Either way, from the scrum base. And when you bring out a big forward like that, not put him in the pack, and he provides a pass so simple. The crowd here chanted easy, and it was. He just drew Lee Penny. No one within Cooey. Not so sure that the Australian coach Ian Millwood would take too kindly to Mr. Wellens celebrating in such a fashion. Get the ball down first, celebrate as long as you like, but not before.
Long shaping for the conversion, he adds the extra 2, and as he added those extra 2 to make it 28-12, Julian O'Neill came back, his spell in the sin bin complete. And so, St Helens now back to a full complement, and 28-12, and the look on Ian Millwood's face, he seems to think the match is in Saints' pocket.
Well, that's a sliding defence that has not bothered to slide across. You can see Penny there. Look at the gap. How many double-decker buses could you put through there? 7, perhaps.
Cunningham to Matautia. Matautia to the 14-metre mark. Cunningham to Sculthorpe. Oh, they're cutting him to ribbons now. Iro's home. Well, a big smile from the birthday boy, and the 4 points from his New Zealand capture. He's just agreed a new deal to stay at Knowsley Road, and 17 tries this year. Kevin Iro.
Well, Farrow was down injured. Warrington down to 12 men. Good break from the loose forward, Paul Sculthorpe. Just an element of doubt perhaps on that final pass, but this is the area where they're just cutting Warrington to pieces. They're allowing Kieran Cunningham to run for the dummy half, create the overlap. They did just that, and Iro, all the skill in the world. And as I say, a little bit of doubt about the final pass from Sculthorpe. Either way, the official said it's okay.
Kevin Iro scoring the 3rd try in 5 minutes for St Helens. They are that sort of a team. Danny Farah is still receiving treatment as Sean Long lines up this latest conversion attempt. Sun bouncing back into the eyes of Sean Long from the glass windows at that end of the ground. Doesn't matter though. And Farah is badly hurt and is going off as we watch Sean Long and now Darryl van der Velde, who must know that the game might be beyond his men.
Well, there's Farah, he's down injured, but watch how slow the first and second markers go, and now Cunningham just cuts them to ribbons, creates the gap, first Sculthorpe, and that was forward. The high shot proved it. I thought there was an element of doubt. The officials have missed that one. Saints won't be worrying about it though. The Wolves will. We've already heard that Darryl van der Velde, the Warrington coach, far from impressed from some of the decisions from John Connolly.
He's got them now for offside.
Well, let's hope that Warrington do not capitulate. Oh, what a great kick. They are on fire.
And here they come again with Joint. And Joint. Someone's in the bin. And if Andrew G, I think. Yes. Andrew G's in the bin.
They're still interfering with the game.
Well, Alan Langer is querying the decision, so is Andrew G. And I think he's been sent to the sin bin for not retreating after the penalty restart.
He's done the tackle. Well, the only thing I can think of is that...
No, he wasn't back to 10, Steve. It was a kick to touch from the penalty, and he was actually almost in front of Chris Joint. Well, here comes Saints again. They're running riot now. They are running riot now. Cunningham. The wheels have suddenly fallen off for Warrington. Kieran Cunningham, the latest try, the fourth of this second half, right behind the post.
Again, basic principles on rugby league not being utilised by Warrington. Their defence was absolutely all at sea. The ability to just run forward, offload, go back on the dummy. Great work, though, by the skipper. Well, I posed the question, and the hope was that Warrington would not capitulate, and I'm afraid the way that the Saints are running now, it's going to be very difficult for them. Plenty of time to go, too.
There is. Long from bang in front, doesn't make those mistakes. 7 tries, Cunningham the 7th. Still over a quarter of the match to go. Every picture tells its own story. Donald van der Velde desolate. Saints running riot, 40-12.
He must be pleased as well, especially after the fact that that man's hopes were raised somewhat when Alan Hunt intercepted Sean Long's pass early in this second half. Maybe there was a hint that they were on the fight back, but ever since then they really have been on the back foot. And when you see the Saints in this mood, Eddie, anything can happen.
Well, it can. 138 points in the last 3 home games for Ian Millwood's men. 50 against Warrington last time here. 42 against Castleford. 42 against London. 40 here today. Although Julian O'Neill has just lost that ball in the tackle.
He lost it just before then. Spotted by John Connolly. The relief for the Wolves. They really were on the back foot. Apart from the intercept, as I mentioned, from Alan Hunt, they've rarely troubled the St. Helens defence since the kick-off of the second half.
Gise gets to his feet. Here now is Steve McCurry. It's with Langer. Now Nickau. Nickau to Breers. Breers to Hunt. Oh, and Hunt has lost the footing. Hall got the tackle in. Nickau again. Joint got to him with help from Sculthorpe.
Oh, that's dangerous, lashing out with the boot. He hasn't stamped his authority on the game at all as to Wira Nickau.
Oh, this is a lovely run from Breers. Stabs the ball forward off the boot of Wellens. He picks it up cleanly. Here they come again. Hall has got Hunt behind him. Good tackle by Alan Hunt.
Great play by the centre then, but wonderful footwork from the fullback Paul Wellens.
Long to Iro.
Iro heads there.
Iro slipped, banged on the bonce with Lee Penny. Sullivan dummy half. Sculthorpe stabs it through, looking for Martin. Sullivan's after it. Sullivan misses it. The referee will hand it on to the video rep, though, I think. Sullivan says he scored. His reaction, he's clapping, he says he scored.
Well, there was a man in front of the kicker, but he was taken out by a Warrington player. Nice option with a kick. See here, Sculthorpe puts...
Tommy Martin's the man out wide.
He's offside, but And good referee by John Connolly, because he did shout to Martin saying, do not interfere, but he's offside there. As soon as he makes contact, yeah, not much in it.
Oh, it's millimetres, that.
Either way.
Not so sure. I think it's the grounding that's the big problem, isn't it? Sullivan thinks he scored it.
Well, if he has, it's fingertip control. That's play on. No.
Well, Tommy Martin, his reaction was immediate at the JJB Stadium, remember, with that famous hat-trick try not long ago.
Well, I know that Mr. Sullivan has got very long nails, but not that long. And you can see the look of anguish on the flying winger.
Well, the players have all lined up for a tap restart on the 20-metre line. They've watched that as we have, and they're ready to restart the game. All we need is the video referee's decision to restart, and it's a 20-metre tap for Warrington. 20 minutes remain. St Helens 40, Warrington 12. Necker with the tackle. Necker rather tackled by O'Neill and Cunningham. Here's Dean Busby. Ooh! Big hit by Cunningham. Busby just bounced up. McCurry! Ball goes to ground again, swooped on by Matautia. Referee will bring it back for the original knock-on. Matautia played the ball to Alan Langer then.
Good break from McCurry. But I don't know where the knock-on has come from.
He's got it against Wellens here, again on McCurry. Didn't see it.
No, to be fair. I thought Wellens was just making the tackle. Either way, eagle eye of John Connolly has seen it.
So Warrington in possession with Hunt.
Oh, no, he's dropped it. Well, that's got to be a knock-on.
Yes, he's blown eventually. He consulted the touch judge.
He's lost control of it.
Didn't go back, no?
No. As soon as he loses it, it's going forward. That's one time you can't use the momentum rule for a knock-on.
Come on, let's pick it
Well,
up.
we did see it earlier in the season.
Make it look good.
Don't start again. Anthony Stewart just on as substitute for St Helens. Well, time for those votes of yours. Man of the match. 09009 10 10 13. Make your choice now, and I think you will be looking for a saint. Can't see any comeback for Warrington.
Good defence though by from Gise.
Yes, it was. And Dwayne West bundled into touch with the football.
Pretty high from Toa Koilov, but they finally got to him. McCurry's considerable weight helped the cause. Well, there was a break from McCurry that lifted the spirits of the Warrington side. But they look somewhat despondent. Not surprising with the scoreline at 40 points to 12. Great defence there from Hall.
Yes, good tackle on Hunt. This is Breers. Now it's with Forster. 10 metres inside the St Helens half, and Mark Forster gets back to his feet eventually. Paul Noon. There's Langer. Wide it goes to Gise. Intercept! He's away, Dwayne West. Dwayne West celebrating and scoring. Right underneath the black dot, Dwayne West with the try. Another interception. Saw one in this first half from Alan Hunt. There's another from Dwayne West.
Well, this was so far forward that it was a virtual gift for Dwayne West. And all the pace in the world, he was going to get there. Again, we see the celebration, but see the wide shot there. Perfect pass, but to the wrong guy. Well taken.
Not a bad strike rate for Dwayne West. Third try of the year. Arrived here from Wigan in June. So Long again is bang in front of the sticks, and St Helens have 2 more points. Well, this awful run of Warrington against St Helens in Super League will continue and last to another year. 46-12 now, and plenty of time for the Saints to add to that total.
Well, you see the high shot quite clearly, that he was going forward. Hardly had to move a couple of inches before the ball hit this guy's chest. They still like to celebrate, don't they? They wouldn't be celebrating if they lost the football.
Penalty on halfway, quick tap by Hoppy. Big hit by Lee Penny.
Full credit to Hoppy, he just got on with the game.
Sculthorpe, Stewart. Oh, there are alarming holes now in this Warrington defence. This is Cunningham. Gave it to Sculthorpe. The ball hit the deck and nothing else. No hands on it.
Well, they're toying with him now. Far too many of the Warrington players going high, and that's the reason why Cunningham is having the time of his life. Come and get me, he says. But he can.
10 metres away, Sculthorpe spins the ball to Long. It goes wide to Martin. Martin then wide to Joint, but off his fingertips into the arms of Langer on the bounce. Stankovic, first man to him.
A little bit too fancy there. The ball was going far too high. The sad part about it is that they had the overlap. There's no chance for Chris Joint to take that. Far too high was the pass.
Nick out, tackled by Anthony Stewart. Alan Hunt, dummy half.
Tried to milk the penalty there to Wira Nikau.
Clear the ball. Busby plays it to Noon. Noon then to Breers. Dab through. Forster's after it. Long will win this race, but he's behind his own line. Oh, risky business finds Wellens. Wellens trapped in goal. Dropout coming up.
A little bit too fancy there. Very risky indeed, but good chase though. It's a neat kick. They've got a pretty convincing lead, but they do sometimes try to be a little bit too fancy, don't they? Attention being given to Kieran Cunningham. He caught a bit of a knock, trying to get back for the tackle in defence.
Fourth goal line drop out, and two to each side. Here's Andrew G. Back out of the sin bin. Noon at dummy half. Nikau the runner. Tackled by Hoppy. It's now with Noon again. Stankovic there. Stankovic and Cunningham. Langer. Gise.
Solid defence.
Sliding to the ground. Joint finished him off.
Ian Millwood would be very pleased with this.
This is Mike Peters. Back it goes, and he did well there to keep that going to Coelho, who's been quiet. Breers stabs the kick through. They're after this, and Busby's got it.
That'll be a try.
Dean Busby touches down, but he wants to check the offside. I think the grounding's fine. It's just whether Busby was on or offside.
Neat kick from Breers. Yeah, he's okay. Breers is well over the 10-metre line. You can see Busby just to the left of your screen. He's behind there. Consolation try, no less. Does he get it down? If there's any problems with that, yeah, that's okay. What is it? I've just seen the ball pop out.
Yes, it popped out the back door, didn't it? No.
Well, there were controversial try disallowed in Australia this morning, but I think he'll get the nod. It didn't,
let's see.
Didn't down in Sydney.
Try is given to Dean Busby. It's adjacent to the posts. As you say, consolation for Dean Busby, formerly, of course, with St Helens. He was dogged by injury here, but he has scored a fine try, courtesy of Breers' kick.
To be fair to Lee Breers, he has tried throughout this match. Trying to get some combination going with the experienced Alan Langer, of course, and that's well plotted.
Breers adds the extras, so it was a former St Helens 1-2 there. Breers with the kick, Busby with the try, and then Breers adding the extras, 46-18.
Neat play. He has thrown everything at Saints. It's been difficult for Warrington. There's a try scorer, but their defence has let them down yet again. And they found it too hard to get through. And Breers well aware that when it's a strong defence, the one thing that can break it down is that little kick. Game of trumps.
Here's the try scorer, Busby. Matautia after him, and Stankovic also. 11 minutes to go. Noon dummy half. Here's Langer, on it goes to Breers. This is Nickau. Nickau then on to Hunt. Good hands to Forster. Forster tackled by Sean Long.
Well, they're getting the ball out wide, but you can see they're not making much progress forward, mainly due to the fact that that was a knock-on from Breers. I thought perhaps that John Connolly may have given 6 more tackles. No doubt about it, but that's a knock-on. It doesn't need telling. No, does it need telling that he's on the end of a fair old hiding tonight.
Well, Warrington missing far too many tackles.
26 is certainly not the thing to do.
Oh, there's another mistake by St Helens. Paul Sculthorpe knocked the ball forward then, and to play the ball.
He didn't knock it on. He just
dropped it.
Didn't play it right. He came off the knee of Alan Hunt.
Off Hunt's knee.
Still, he is the man solely responsible for the retention of the football, according to the laws, in regards to the referee's interpretation of those laws.
Coelov then for Warrington on halfway.
Well, can they finish with some sort of flourish? It's been a real up and down year for them.
That's good hands from McCurry to Hunt, and Anthony Stewart with a good tackle. Plays it quickly. Noon, Breers. Breers trying to jink inside Hoppy and Matautia. Impossible. Gise, Langer, Andrew G. Nickau. Mike Peters. That's the last. They ran it, went for the power play.
Well, full credit to the substitute, Peters.
Any man of the match votes should now be cast. Lines are still open, will be for 10 minutes or so. 09009 10 10 13. Some candidates out there in the white with the red V down the front. Long to Stewart. Oh, he's dropped it. Forster has it back for Warrington.
Well, they really don't have to force that sort of pass deep within their own half. As I say, a few questions asked by their coach, Ian Millwood, that, you know, trying to throw the long ball out there. Okay, extra points is one thing, but still play good, solid, basic football. And oh, he's come up with a knock-on again as Alan Hunt. And if looks could kill Mr. McCurry. Mr. McCurry has a very, very long, hard look at his colleague. Hasn't been his night. Really hasn't been his season. Well, very few on the Warrington side.
Here now is Sean Long.
Good tackle from Lee Penny.
And he could have been done then for, could have been penalised for lifting the legs. Chris Joint, who will play wood.
Oh, that was real straight in there from Lee
in the knee by Lee, with the knees by Lee Penny.
Well, we can do without that. The game has gone as a contest, and I'm not so sure that Chris Joint had stopped moving. He certainly went with the elbow, and then I think we'll find the knees going. To be fair, it hadn't been finished, but...
and he was committed.
Yep.
The whole incident goes on report, though, by John Connolly.
I don't think we'll hear any more about that, Eddie. But, just looked a bit dangerous with the trailing left knee. Also the elbow.
20th penalty of the match, 13 to St Helens.
Yeah, he's certainly been using the whistle, hasn't he, John Connolly, tonight? One of those games at one point in the first half, I thought perhaps he might start to lose it. He certainly took control of it, but I think he might lose it in the dying 6.5 minutes.
Bin!
Nico's in the bin.
You walk into the man, get away.
Well, to be fair, he has been walking the tightrope, and he's getting a few choice words of, I wouldn't say encouragement from the St Helens players. He plays it hard and tough. Not impressed, Donald van der Velde.
Okay, we're not going for goal.
I get the impression, Eddie, I don't think Mr van der Velde will be too impressed with the Murray whistleblower. I don't think he'll call it to Murray.
No, I don't think so. I wonder if he'll walk away from Angela in the interview at the end as well, as he is prone to do. Cunningham plays it eventually to Martin. Here is Joint. Now it's with Long. Long then to Wellens. Wellens trying to come inside, and McCurry did well on the deck. It's with Long again. Joint the captain. Back it goes to Hoppy. There's Wellens. Wellens through a dummy, then passed it to Cunningham. Cunningham. Back it goes again to Hoppy. Here's Stankovic. There's another try. Stankovic with 4 more for St Helens.
Very quickly.
He's given it to the video referee.
Bully someone off the ball. Stop it, tackle, please.
Was there anything happening off the ball, John Connolly wants to know.
Good play, though, by Saints. They kept this ball alive. It shows you here the ability to work for each other. Wellens throws a dummy, and hesitation time yet again. This is the step. Oh, he's at the time of his life was Cunningham. No problem for mine. This is TRY time. Trying to claim that Joint takes someone out. And I think you'll find that it's Alan Hunt hanging on the back of Joint, trying to keep the referee. I don't think there'll be any doubts about this. They want to have a look at it.
Oh, they're saying, I think Warrington are claiming that Alan Hunt is being impeded by Chris Joint.
Yeah, but I think you'll find that Alan Hunt just takes a piggyback and makes a real meal of it.
You can't deny them that, surely.
Well, as far as I can see, no. But we have had some unusual calls this year. Surely TRY.
And it is. St Helens get another. Stankovic with the try. He's featured in 17 of 23 in Super League, 18 of 24 now. And Sean Long with the conversion. Doesn't miss those. 52-18. Saints, the entertainers of the Super League again.
It's not a happy hunting ground for them. And the Wolves come here. They don't get many rich pickings. But the ability of this man and all the Saints players to offload. Good team effort there. Well, there's been many stars, especially in the first half, Tommy Martin, but you have to agree, Eddie, that Kieran Cunningham has just run the show from dummy half, created so much.
He has, he's been in the thick of the battle, and Sean Long now, he has kicked 8 goals tonight. He is now on 999 points for St Helens. He's 1 away from the 1,000. What a signing he has been, and here he goes again. But the pass this time to the wrong jersey.
It was on as well. Good acceleration from a standing start. Wellens had just overrun it. Oh, a kick early in the tackle. That'll be a knock-on.
It is. Dwayne West getting down bravely where the boots were flying.
He read it well, but just ricocheted the wrong way. Took his try well. He was in the right position, though it was such a forward pass. It virtually was going straight towards his chest when he took that intercept.
Kick downfield, collected by Long.
Well, Alan Hunt tried to get himself a penalty. There's a collision with Steve Hall, and I think Steve Hall has come off worse. Problem with his left arm, and he's in a lot of trouble, is the winger Steve Hall, who made a collision with Alan Hunt there after the kick was chipped over the top.
It's now with Paul Sculthorpe, and there's West again. And Toakoi Love giving West a bit of treatment, and Paul Sculthorpe didn't like that. Martin to Long, Long to Stankovic, Stankovic to Sullivan, Sullivan to Stewart. He hangs on. Stewart trying to release the pass.
Good work from Breers there. He stuck to Stewart like a limpet mine. Here's a kick.
High kick from Long. Ball's bounced. Saints have another, I think. And Paul Sculthorpe looks like he has scored against his former club, and he has. Well, the kick from Sean Long caused pandemonium. And he's going to kick his 1000th career point for St Helens in a minute.
And fully deserved. It was a huge kick. Not the best attempt there, I'm afraid, from the winger. Massive kick. Hesitation. Willie Cowell will not want to see that a few times. Sculthorpe, the big smile on his face. He's worked hard too.
The game's costliest forward when he moved to Nosey Road in 1998. He missed both meetings this year. This is an important kick for Sean Long personally. If he notches this, he'll pass the 1000-point mark for St Helens. It's academic in terms of tonight's match, but that's 4 figures now for Sean Long. 1001, 58-18. St Helens 10 tries. They've had a smashing night. Warrington, I'm afraid, it's a night to forget.
Typifies their season, their performance. Certain parts of the game they have tried.
Ian Millwood applauding the 1000th point to Sean Long.
Just been informed that that's it. Just squeezed it in, 1001 before the hooter went.
Top 5 done and dusted. St Helens go second. Castleford and Leeds, Bradford, Wigan and Saints will contest the top 5 come the end of the season, but we've got some blockbuster matches to bring you before all that starts. Chris Joynt's team of champions will contest the series that will lead to Old Trafford on the 14th of October. Warrington now, we can say absolutely, conclusively and finally they won't. The top 5, the big 5, with eyes on Old Trafford, and Sean Long. Over 1,000 points now for the St Helens club. Still to come tonight, following us on Sky Sports 1, 8:45, goals on Sunday. A roundup of all the weekend's goals. Sky Sports 2 now, live golf, final day of the US PGA Championship. Sky Sports 3 tonight from 8:30, cricket highlights. The first test between England and Australia in 1997. And on Sky Sports Extra now, cricket highlights from this morning's one-day international between the Aussies and South Africa. All that's still to come tonight here on Sky Sports. But St Helens are celebrating another big win against Warrington. Paul Sculthorpe with the last try. Sean Long with 9 successful kicks. 58 points to 18 is the final reckoning. And Saints have hit the half-century again. Ian Millward is on the pitch with his players to enjoy the moment and celebrate his 40th birthday. What a present his men have given him. A big win against Warrington's Wolves.
You may not be aware of these catchphrases yet.
Putty in my hands. Any queries? Give us a tinkle.
Hey, what? Hey, what? Hey, 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 hey. What?
But soon you won't be able to forget about them.
Here, people think we're sisters, don't they, Kel?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not, though. I'm her mum.
Cunning little minx. You know, Richard, I think everything's going to be all right.
Harry Enfield's brand spanking new show starts 11th of September, only on Sky One.
There's Latin spirit in every one.
It's sale time at ATS Euromaster. You'll find money off all our tyres. Up to 25% off exhausts. And free brake checks. Call 0800 60 1060 to find your nearest centre. The ATS Euromaster sale. What drives us is you.
Alpha 623, the airport is now operational. You are clear to land. All final approach line now.
A serious mouthful of fruity juiciness. Starburst, get your juices going.
There's strength in numbers, especially when we work together. Now there's a way of shopping together. Let'sBuyIt.com. As the number of buyers goes up, the price goes down and down. That's buyer power from Let'sBuyIt.com. We all get things cheaper when we buy in a group. Let's do it. Let'sBuyIt.com.
The fastest hands in the East meet the slowest gun in the West. Jackie Chan. Ow! Shanghai Noon.
The new VX220 has been described as the sexiest car that Vauxhall have ever built. Rubbish.
It's scientifically impossible to have unnatural feelings towards a car.
Even if it has got a perfectly formed body or a racy exposed aluminium chassis. A wanton 2.2-litre engine, the subtle suspension that hugs every curve, lustfully yearning to be... Blow me.
Vauxhall, raising the standard.
Well, a massive win for St Helens, 58 points to 18. And the man there who led the Tri-Fest, Tommy Martin, with his hat-trick. He picks up the Tissot watch as the man of the match, and here he is now with Angela Powers.
Tommy Martin, man of the match again. Here's your prize.
Thanks very much to Tissot for the award. Warrington pushed us all the way, and we knew it was going to be hard for the first half. They gave us a hell of a game here last time, so we knew it was just a case of trying to bide the time, and hopefully we could just have a bit more steam left in the tank at the end of the day.
There's absolutely no stopping you at the moment, is there?
Well, you know, I'm sure Wakefield will say something about that, but you know, it was a major hiccup for us last week, but you know, maybe it was just a time to kick up the backside that we needed.
Well, Paul Ashby of Loughborough knows a good player when he sees one. He has named Tommy Martin as the man of the match. Paul is on his way to the grand final on the 14th of October, and I wonder whether Saints will be with him. Ian Millwood received a birthday cake from the Independent St Helens Supporters Association, presented here by his players. So quite a day for Ian Millwood as he addressed the crowd. He's now left the scene. He's below stairs. Sean Long is there with him as well. Sean and Ian Millwood talking now to Angela.
Sean, another championship performance out there. You must have enjoyed that.
Yeah, we did enjoy it. You know, it's good to get a win after a loss. You know what I mean? We had a bad defeat last week, but all the lads, you know, rallied around and we bounced back straight away. So really pleased with the performance.
It was so emphatic as well. It must give you great pleasure to go out and play in those games.
Yeah, it was tough today, you know, and that's what we need, a good physical hard match, you know, coming up to the playoffs. And, you know, Warrington gave it us and, you know, we replied in the right way.
Ian Millwood, happy birthday for this week. That was a great prize, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought we played really well under very difficult circumstances created by Warrington and also the referee. So, you know, I was very happy the way our players handled things.
Really, you've got champions written all over you, haven't you, would you say?
Oh, well, we've got champion players and they got champion attitude, and that'll keep us in good stead when the big games come up.
To win like that, though, it must make you feel so confident going into these playoffs.
Yeah, you know, we showed a lot of good attitude just after half-time there in regard to, you know, they scored first and we hit back, and I was very happy with that.
Well, St Helens with the mark of champions, except when they travel to Bellevue to face the Wakefield Trinity Wildcats. The one thing that we can say right now is that Warrington are out of the playoffs. They won't be taking part in it, but I rather fancy that Darrell van der Velde knew that even before the bus pulled in here to Nosey Road tonight. And Darrell van der Velde now, wonder if he'll go on walkabouts again. He's talking to Angela.
Darrell, your reaction after that?
Yeah, we're comprehensively beaten all over the park. You know, we thought first half we really burnt some fuel up. We had a lot of penalties against us and burned a lot of fuel up. Back in the second half, they took advantage of it.
That means top five.
Yeah,
definitely out your league.
It's all over. Yeah, but still, you know, it's we're still going to try and finish above Hull. We're still 1 point behind Hull. They're in sixth position, so it's very, very important for us to finish the season off.
What about that finish, though? Do you feel that Warrington do really have something to show people out there?
Well, you know, obviously, you know, we've been disappointing this year. We've been the underachievers of the competition. I've got no doubt about that. And you know, it's up to the players now to finish off. We've got 4 games to go. We've got to try and win every game.
Well, he didn't go walkabouts this time, Darrell. Good on you. But he set the stall out there for the end of the season as far as Warrington are concerned. 4 victories, and then he believes his team will sit above Hull in 6th place in the table. But the top 5, it's done and dusted, Steve. We know who's going to be in the playoffs now.
Yeah, they've been disappointment, haven't they, Warrington Wolves, and I'm sure that Darrell van der Velde and their players will look back on the season, and how they played today really epitomised how they played throughout the year. You cannot play just in fits and starts. You've got to play for the full 80 minutes, and I'm afraid they only do come in 10 minutes and maybe 15 at the most. And Eddie, you cannot afford to do things like that. Though they did have an opportunity, didn't they? It raised their spirits when Alan Hunt made the intercept for the first try. Sean Long, they were trying to force a pass all the time, Saints, and why not? They virtually had this game well and truly won. But when Hunt made this intercept, there was perhaps just a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. But this man, Tommy Martin, the combination between him and Sean Long really has cut so many defences apart. And Martin in for what was to be his hat-trick on that occasion. And it was just really a matter of time. It was an error from Forster that allowed Matauti to slip the pass to Wellens. Matauti is standing out of the scrum as though it was a standoff. Worked well. But this guy just run riot, didn't he? Cunningham created the half-break for Sculthorpe, kept his cool. And the big fella, Iro, no one nearing. It was just a matter of how many after that. And Joint, look at this. Stepped on the inside, Pass to Cunningham. Fully deserved that, did the hooker. Tommy Martin, of course, rightly so in many ways, to score a hat-trick that you're nominated by the opposition as the man most likely to have brought about your defeat. But I thought that the St Helens, especially in that second half, some of their teamwork was quite outstanding. Their ability to keep the ball alive was outstanding, and full credit to their coach Ian Millwood. But getting back to the Tommy Martin situation, I thought that Kieran Cunningham, he controlled things out there, as he does from time to time. He had a superb game, but so did all the team.
Yes, great performance from St Helens, and Ian Millwood, as you saw on the interview there, well pleased. And it's amazing what happens over the course of a season, isn't it? 12 months ago, the fans here were shouting, there's only one Ellery Hanley. Tonight, they're singing, there's only one Ian Millwood. There are very short memories in sport, aren't there?
They certainly do, but they still dislike me. They don't have that short a memory, I must say.
They are not on their own there, I can tell you that.
But they were extremely joyous, and of course, yes, well, 1 week is a long time in rugby league, as Ian Millwood found out last week when they went down to the Wildcats. But full credit to them. We anticipated that they would come back with vengeance, and they certainly did, and they made the Warrington Wolves pay. But there again, you go back to the fact that Warrington cannot afford, it doesn't matter how many players you buy from overseas, you have to play for the full 80 minutes.
Yeah, Warrington have been the underachievers. Darryl van der Velde on the interview, he said so himself. They've underachieved this year, and there were such high hopes, I can tell you, in the Warrington town before the season got going.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I think that of all those buys, I think you can only point the finger at Alan Langer, that to my mind has really given value for money. And it didn't surprise me that Tawira Nikau was sent to the sin bin. He really was, well, you didn't see much of him throughout this game, and to be quite fair, I don't think we've seen much of him throughout this season.
OK, there it is. That's the story then of the match here at Knowsley Road. St Helens have, well, they had already clinched their place in the playoffs. Now it's just a question of where Saints, Bradford and Wigan will finish at the top, and whether it'll be Castleford 4th or Leeds 5th or vice versa. We'll have to wait and see as the next 4 weeks unfold. But there's been some pretty dramatic action taking place elsewhere in Super League this weekend. Let's bring you all the highlights of the other matches played now. Here is Rod Studd.
Bradford returned to the top of Super League, albeit temporarily, after demolishing Huddersfield Sheffield at Odsall. The game was all over as a contest within the first quarter. Henry Paul started the scoring, and Stuart Spruce quickly added a second touchdown, and it was 12-0. The game was starting to follow a familiar pattern, with the Bulls having scored 140 points in the previous 3 League and Cup meetings against the Giants. Brian McDermott went in for the 3rd try, and Bradford were rattling along at a point a minute. The 4th touchdown wasn't long in coming from Mick Withers. And let's face it, this may not be the best warm-up for the crucial winner-takes-all showdown at the JJB against Wigan. The Giants' new coach, Tony Smith, has, by his own admission, the toughest job in Super League. Chris Thorman is possibly his brightest young talent, and he did at least grab a consolation. But the joy was short-lived as Paul Deacon scored, taking full advantage of his run in the side. 28-6 Bulls at half-time. The 2 points were safely in the bag, and that gave the Bulls licence to turn on the style, and they did just that. There may be no Robbie at the moment, but Henry was doing his best to make up for his younger brother's absence, scoring 2 tries and breaking Yestin Harris's record for most goals in a Super League season. The Giants, without injured trio Clinch, Gleeson and Turner, were always fighting a losing battle, but on-loan winger Leroy Rivet did grab a try. But every time Huddersfield Sheffield scored, the Bulls came storming straight back. Tavita Vaikona had missed 1 or 2 try-scoring chances, but not this one. 40 points to 10. The Giants will feel they still have some hope of avoiding bottom spot in Super League 5. After all, they're still just 4 points behind the struggling London Broncos. And they're capable of scoring some useful tries. Dale Cordoza with this one. But they simply can't win games shipping in the number of points they are at the other end of the field. Brian McDermott barged his way over for another Bulls try. And keeping it in the pack, Jamie Peacock scored the last Bulls touchdown of the night, taking his side past 50 for the 7th time in Super League 5. The Giants' caretaker coaches, Phil Vevers and Jeff Hardy, certainly had precious little to smile about at Odsall. But Hardy himself did score the final try of the game, and possibly the winner of Super League 5's most bizarre try of the season award. The Bulls were top of the table for less than 48 hours, as Wigan resumed their position at the summit by winning at the Willows. But it was hard graft for Frank Endicott's side, despite racing into an early lead thanks to Mark Smith. And the 6-point advantage soon turned into 12, thanks to Mick Cassidy's touchdown. When the sides last met at Salford early on in the season, the Warriors won 32-0 and a repeat looked on. But Salford weren't about to lie down and have their tummy tickled. Fullback Gary Broadbent dived over. Chris Radlinski has been Wigan's man of the moment, going to 100 career tries last weekend. And 101 wasn't long in coming. And nor, in fact, was 102. And the Warriors were well on their way to completing a hat-trick of victories this season over the Reds, 24-6. But Salford City have won 3 of their last 6. And Wigan knew they were still very much in a game when Gary Broadbent got his second. The Reds, being roared on not only by their own fans, but by those of Bradford and St Helens, suddenly got a second wind. Martin O'Fire creating a try for Jason Nicholl, and suddenly the gap was down to just 6 points. But step forward Andrew Farrell. Just when his team needed it, he scored the vital try to clinch the 2 points. Wakefield, fresh from humbling St Helens, started 14-point favourites to double up against the London Broncos. And there was hardly a moment's worry for Tony Kemp's Wildcats. Mind you, in a drab first half, they had to wait until the half-hour mark to break the deadlock, thanks to Neil Law's superb solo effort. 4-0 at the break at Bellevue, and 2 quick tries for Wakefield in the second period wrapped up the points against a lacklustre London. The first of them came from Martin Masella, showing plenty of strength to crash over. Wakefield were winning 2 games on the trot, amazingly for the first time in Super League 5. Their greatest night of the season was at Headingley on opening day, and they'll get the chance to relive that glory night next weekend. London, for their part, must be looking anxiously over their shoulders at the Giants. They could still finish bottom. Neil Law's second try of the afternoon made it 16-0, and the game was all over. There was still enough time for Andy Fisher to add his name to the score sheet, and Wakefield might be finishing the season a little stronger than most people expected. Hull's playoff hopes are all but over.